Okay, we should be about to begin. And here we are. All right. Very excited for today. And we're going to give people just a moment to join us as we get things started. All right. Very excited, Terry, to have you with us today. We'll give
Thank
people
you
just
for
a
having
moment.
me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Ah, what a great day today is.
Good Friday here in the UK.
Yeah.
And really
Okay.
random fact is that we have to eat fish, apparently, as my mother just told me.
Oh, well, parents know. Parents know. All right. Oof. Let's give.
If you're a veggie or a vegan, then yeah, you don't have to eat fish.
Oh, well, that's nice. That's nice. All right. Okay. Well, I think we're going to get started. All right. Can you? All right. Let's get this show on the road. Well, welcome everyone to our very first Linn Academy Passion Interview. These are a series of interviews that we are doing with experts from the Linn Academy. They are people who are learned across many different aspects of what the Linn Academy offers, ranging from oracle card readings like we'll have today, to feng shui and space clearing, to gateway dreaming, understanding dreams, to just a broad swath of beautiful kind of inner driven work that has all been led by Denise Linn. So Denise Linn, for those of you who may not know, is a modern day mystic, some call her. She's an amazing, I guess, force for good, I would say, who has done so much for this community and frankly for the world, and the work that she's done around all of these topics, really helping us to understand that the soul loves the truth, which is something that she is often heard saying. So what we wanted to do with these interviews, these sessions, and help to ignite some passion within each of you. And so just to let you know who I am, my name is Bill Schwingle. I am a graduate of several of the Linn Academy programs. And I've had the honor of being able to interview several folks over the course of the next several weeks about various topics that they are passionate about. And so today we have Terry Bowen. Terry Bowen he's based in the UK, and he is a master a soul coach, oracle card reader. He's a master soul coach trainer. He is licensed in instinctive feng shui and space clearing, 7-flower blessing space clearing. And he has been a part of the Linn Academy for many years. And I'm going to let him introduce himself. But before I do, I wanted to let everyone know that we are talking today about the oracle card readings and the power that they can provide to each of you in your lives, and helping you to connect with kind of your own inner guidance and ultimately what your soul is looking for you to do. So today we are live here, but for those who aren't able to hear us live, feel free to put questions or comments in, and we'll get to those as soon as we can. For those who are with us live, welcome. So glad to have you. Please feel free to ask questions of Terry as we go through our session today. It's going to be about 30 minutes. And I'll be looking for your comments. So don't mind me if I look down a bit. I just want to make sure I'm capturing any comments that come in. So all of that being said, welcome, Terry. So glad to have you. Please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you for having me as well. So I live in London, UK with my husband and our 3 fur babies. We've got I was going to say 2 chihuahuas. We've got 2 boy chihuahuas and a little girl that's just joined us recently. And I've been, I would say, following Denise Linn's pretty much since she started on Hay House Radio, which I think is around 2006. And I loved her voice, loved her energy, loved her simple way, and her laugh. When she starts laughing and she gets like really into the groove, it just makes her feel so much more human, and it's wonderful it's been wonderful for me that over those years to have taken that time to train and to learn with her, and in particular with oracle cards. A little bit about me and where my journey started. So I've always believed in there's something else out there. In the UK, we used to have the daily newspaper. It's not the greatest of newspapers now, I've learned as I've grown older, but in there they had the stars, and they would give little astrological readings based on your star sign, and I used to lap that up. And then on a Sunday, the magazine that came with that Sunday paper sometimes had tarot cards in there. And I'm like, I always want tarot cards. Where can I get tarot cards? And that was something that I'd always wanted, always really interested in. But it wasn't until late one night I was shopping, and it was in Asda and the UK, Walmart, it's known in America. So it was a big kind of just um, a superstore there for your food and groceries. And there was a pack of tarot cards, and they were just like £5. So kind of next to nothing. It had a guidebook, and I was just like, I'm gonna do it. So I grabbed them. I hadn't wanted them. They needed them. So I did. And I used them. And at the time, I was looking to change jobs. I was looking to change my career. And I was really happy because the card that came out told me in the guidebook that that was what was going to happen. That was what was going to occur. And so I was just like, that's great. What I didn't know is that what it really meant was that I was actually stepping into that spiritual world. I was stepping into that esoteric, mystical world that I've now been in for a number of years. I told a friend, and she said, "Well, you have to be careful with tarot." And so she took me to a psychic, and the psychic said the same sort of thing. You're going to be doing this work. I'm
Mm,
like, what do you mean? What do you
mm,
mean? I'm not going to be doing it. She says you'll be doing readings, and I was just like, okay, but the seed planted.
mm,
And from there, I started to visit a spiritualist church, one that was at the top of my road here in where I live. Eventually I became president of that spiritualist church,
mm,
but I learned to become a medium. I learned to become more intuitive, more psychic. And I do believe that we're all intuitive. It's just that we've dumbed that down somewhat because people want scientific explanations to things.
mhm,
But as I developed my intuitive abilities, my mediumship, I wanted to help people more. And I was kind of like, I'm going to say 24, 25. I was quite young.
mm,
And I had people that were probably double my age wanting me to tell them how to live their life. And I was just kind of like, this doesn't feel right. And so Spirit gave me the word coaching, which then married up with connecting with Denise.
mm,
And after going through the soul coaching program with her, I decided that was the program for me. And Spirit said, "Yes, you can do this one." I
mm.
have a whole other story about coaching, which which I share in in other realms.
I was gonna say we can do that in another interview.
We'll do that in another one. Um, but I signed up to become a soul coaching practitioner with Denise, and
Mm,
just spent a phenomenal week with her. But I'd already been reading oracle cards. I had the soul
mm,
coaching oracle cards. I had various other decks, but I was always just telling people what the card meant and what it is that they should do. And yet Denise then showed me another way, which was asking the client, what is it you
mm,
want? What is it you need to know? What is it that you see in this card? And that for me was just phenomenal. And it was actually just, it took off all the pressure for me being a reader, where I was potentially telling someone how to just change their life without really having any substance around it,
mhm,
to then being a place where they could actually explore what it is that they already knew deep down within. And that's the part of not only the soul coaching practitioner. I've loved soul coaching. It's just one of my favorite. It is my favorite thing. It's the
mm,
program that I return to whenever I'm feeling a little bit wobbly. Um, but what I love about the work that Denise has done and what she teaches each time is that the most important thing we can do is hold and create sacred space for our clients.
mhm,
So that when my client comes to me, whether it be for an oracle card reading, past lives, dreams, feng shui, they come to me and we sit, and I do one of those really important things. I listen.
Mm,
And listening, I think, is one of those key skills that we all have it. We can all listen,
mm,
but we have to also remember we've got two ears, one mouth. When we're holding when we're holding that space for our client, it's not about what we've got to say, it's more about what they've got to say.
mhm,
So by creating a sacred space for my client, and that isn't about space clearing, energy clearing, it's about connecting with my client and just saying, okay, what is it that you're looking for, what is it that you want, and listening, asking
mhm,
questions as to when they've got a question. And that's how I work.
mhm,
Sometimes I kind of feel I know what they want, but when they open their mouth and they say, actually, this is what I'm looking for.
mm,
Okay, so what is it that we need to know? What is it that you want to focus on? Where is it that you want to go in your life? Or what is really blocking you at the moment?
mhm,
And once you have that conversation, once you create that space for your client, or once I create that space for my client, and I know that anyone that has gone through Denise's training does the same. It
mhm,
enables them to really just say what it is that they want to say. So I spend time with my clients. I sit and I just ask them, okay, so what is it? What is it you want to know? What is it that you want to do? And with an oracle card reading, because often, well, my oracle cards are pretty much just always by my side.
mhm,
So these are the sacred destiny ones. This is the little bag that I have in them. I keep them in, and I ask them, what is it you want to know? What is it that you really want to focus on? Sometimes it's just like, oh no, just don't you just read cards? It's just like,
mm,
yeah, okay. Okay, if that's what you want, what is it that your soul wants you to know? What is it that deep part within you that is
mhm,
looking for answers? There's a reason that you've come for a reading. It's not just to make you feel good. There's always a reason there. What is that?
mhm,
So once I've kind of taken that, got that information from them, then I say, okay, so let's just stop. Let's share a breath. And
mhm,
I do this whether I'm in person or whether it's online. It doesn't really matter to me which way. Obviously, as the pandemic hit, as that changed the world, um, doing more online and doing video, even like we're doing now, you can still create that sacred space by just sitting and listening to my clients, to listening to what it is that they have to say.
mm,
And I say, okay, so let's just take a breath. And then as we take a breath, and it is that important part of that connection between the two of us,
mm,
that I start to shuffle the cards. Now, I know that there are various ways of shuffling cards, and I know that some readers that you will go to, the reader will say to you, right, okay, well, you take the cards and you start shuffling them.
mhm,
I don't do that. And there's a really good reason why, is because one time I did that with a client. I'd never done it before, but I was just like, here, there you go, there's my cards.
mhm.
She started shuffling them Vegas style. So she got the cards, and she goes, I've always wanted to do this. And I'm
Mm,
looking and I'm like, no, no, that's not how you do it.
mm,
Um, and I took my cards home at the end of the night and I just brought them to my heart. I said, I'm so sorry. I no one will ever touch you again. Just me, just me. Because the oracle cards, when I'm using them, become a real extension of who it is that I am.
mhm,
Um, whilst I'm not necessarily doing intuitive readings for people as much as what I used to,
mhm,
when I'm working with a client, I'm connecting to their energy. We're taking that journey together,
mhm,
and we'll have a breath. I'll shuffle the cards. We'll think about, say out the question or what it is that the person wants to know, and then I'll turn the card over and I'll get to them. Okay, and we'll just look at the card and we'll just say, okay, so what do you see on that card? And I do get the people that, well, aren't you meant to read it for me? Aren't you meant to tell me what that means? I'm like,
mhm,
yeah, well, we'll do that in a moment. But what's your first impression? What is it that you see within that card? And it's funny because once you start to say what it is that you see,
mhm,
then the more information comes, the more that you're able to um, delve deep into your life, delve deep into what it is that's really really going on.
Mhm.
I had a client once who, um, when we went through, the way that when I do a reading for someone, or when I'm doing a kind of an oracle card session, I I don't have a particular spread that I use. I
Mhm.
just pull a card and then pull the next one. And if something doesn't make sense in a card, or we need more information, I pull a clarifying card and just add that in.
Mhm.
And my client was just like, no, I just want to know just whatever comes up. And I'm like, okay. So the first two cards were like, well, we didn't get much information out of that. It doesn't seem to be anything going on here.
Mhm.
We scratched the surface. And then when the third card came out, that was when my client just opened up and said, I
Mm.
don't have that in my life.
Oh, wow.
And that's why I kind of call this the journey with oracle cards, which is also my view. It's a workshop that a class that I ran a couple of years ago, and because I think that the oracle cards, whenever an oracle card comes out,
Mhm.
there's always a reason behind it. There's always something there.
Yeah.
And as we looked at that third card that kind of really spoke volumes,
Mhm.
we went back and we looked at how did that relate in the previous two cards.
Mm.
And so you started to see that journey that the person was taking.
Yeah.
I don't remember the cards, and I'm not going to say what they were, but um, there was that sense of allowing us to see where life was, where it was taking us, and what was happening. And that's, for me, what the beauty of an oracle card reading is. It's sometimes giving us that confirmation of the things that we already know,
Mhm.
um, but also the things that we're kind of hiding away from. You said earlier, Bill, that the soul loves the truth.
Mm.
But when that card comes up and you can't hide behind everything's okay, everything's fine, because that card is the one thing that you're missing in your life,
Mm.
then it's important to really connect with and represent what that is. What is it that I'm doing? And
Mhm.
afterwards, it was. Um, I normally do it in a kind of an hour sitting that I do, or 50 minutes.
Mhm.
Um, Normally I would say five or six cards come out, but with this client, I remember there was a few more there that came out, but
Mm.
each card helped us to take them on that journey of what it is that they really wanted.
Mhm.
They knew deep down what they wanted, but they just was afraid to verbalize it. When
Right.
that card came out and it just said, this, it
Mhm.
enabled them to really open up and to kind of take them on that journey.
Mhm.
But here's the amazing thing is with the oracle cards, especially working with I'm going to say a soul coaching practitioner or soul coaching oracle card reader, is that we don't just say, well, that was pretty, there's your cards. We also say, what action can you take?
Mm. Mhm.
What action can you take on this card? What action can you do? What would bring this energy into your life?
Mhm.
So most times people go away thinking they're just going to get a reading that all sounds like happy and life's going to be fantastic. And I'm kind of like, yeah, but let's ground it in reality as well. Let's
Mhm.
bring it down into what it needs to be, so that you can um, you can really take action and make that happen in your life.
Mm.
And there's another reason for that, because if you then go back to another, or even if you go to another oracle card reader, um, the same message is going to come up.
Mm.
You're just going to pay twice for it, and if you still haven't done anything for it with it, you might end up paying a third time to hear the same things.
Mhm.
Oracle card readings are lovely. They can give you that confirmation of what it is that you're looking for, but you also have to take action on the information that you get, on the messages that you receive,
Mhm.
because otherwise it's just like watching a film. At the end of it, you're kind of like, oh, okay, well, that was nice, and you move on to something else.
Mhm.
But you still want to do that thing. You still want to kind of do what it is that your soul has been calling to you for.
Mm. So beautiful. It's such a powerful journey that you've been on, and the way that you allow people to connect, right, with their own kind of inner guidance, and being that kind of guide or coach is so very powerful.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing that. And I guess I'm
Thank you.
wondering for those who are listening
Mhm.
or watching or both, um, if they're either new to Oracle cards or they're wondering, well, how do I get started on this kind of journey? Do you have any kind of recommendations or thoughts on where they might start?
So the first thing is you want to find some oracle cards that really call to you.
Mhm.
The fact that you're listening to this now and they're kind of like, well, yeah, I've always wanted that. um, I would say start looking at Oracle cards. Now you can go onto a top online retailer,
Mm,
and you can usually get them within a day or two. You can go to the Hay House website, and I tend to buy mine from Hay House just because I like the energy of the cards and the authors.
mhm.
Of course, I'm going to recommend Denise Linn's.
Of course.
I do use all of the cards, and
Mhm,
there are times it's interesting because Sacred Destiny is probably my most favorite deck,
mhm.
um, and I love to use it. And I'm going to pull a card for everyone
Oh,
in a couple of moments, just to show you how you can the three good things that make a good Oracle card reading.
great. Thank you.
Um, but each of the cards have a different energy and a different purpose.
Mm,
I have my own Facebook page, and so on there, I use Sacred Traveler a lot.
mm,
I use that and I create a different imagery and around those, but also I've been doing meditations around the cards that are pulled because there is just so much depth to them. So the first thing I would say is they do say never judge a book by a cover, but I think an Oracle card deck gives you a good indication of what that card deck's going to look like. Do also, when you click into the links, have a look at what the other cards are like. There's been some covers that I thought were really great, but when I've looked inside, they've kind of not appealed to me as much.
mm, mhm,
Um, if you have a mind body spirit shop near you, or even some of the big book retailers now, I think the bricks and mortar ones, they
mhm,
do have oracle cards as well. So have a look and see what calls to you. um, I was in Glastonbury last weekend, and we went into a place called Chalice Wells,
mm.
and beautiful spiritual energy. And as we walked into the shop, and I just had this lady, and she goes, "Oh, you're buying the deck by Denise Linn, are you?" And I looked, and it was Sacred Destiny. And so,
Ah,
and the lady just said, "Yeah, they just called to me. That
mm.
was the ones for me." And I couldn't help but just like, "That's my friend's deck. They're the best. You're gonna have such a great time."
Mhm,
So, so find a deck that really connects with you. Um, Connecting with your Oracle card deck is also important. I do a whole process around which I learned from Denise as well, but it was something that I was doing very similar. Um, you want to clear the energy of the cards. You want to then, have a look through each of the cards individually so that your energy then touches each of the cards. I usually bring them to my heart and do an invocation, a prayer, a blessing that enables them to really connect to me. And then I start shuffling. The three things I want to share though for you
mm,
is the first thing is be clear in your question. Be clear in what it is that you're doing. Don't just shuffle the cards, because if you just shuffle the cards, you're just going to get a shuffled message. It's
mm.
not going to be anything direct. Um, there was one time many years ago when I was just, absentmindedly shuffling cards, and a card flew out. And I was just like, okay, that's really interesting. Let me look. And the card was focus. It was almost like the spirit of the Oracle card was just saying to me, "Oi, I ain't just sitting here for nothing.
Mm,
Use me properly." So the question, what is it that you really want to know? I don't recommend yes, no questions. You want to, or a why question, but you want to see, what is it that I can do to achieve this? What
mhm,
is it that I can do to change my job? What is it that I can do to make more money? What is it that I could do to bring more joy in my life? My favorite question, though, for anyone that just says, "Oh, I don't know, I just want to read it," is, what does my soul want me to know today?
mhm,
Within any oracle book, any oracle deck, you get a guidebook. And the first thing I used to say to my clients was, and my people that I was training in to use oracle cards, is, don't look at the book. That's just going to take you away from what it is that you're getting.
Mhm.
But then I was invited by Denise to read one of her guidebooks before the deck came out. So I read Native Spirit, and I read every card, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's so much great information in there.
Mhm.
So what I do say to people now is, with your question in mind and you're shuffling the cards, when you pull the card, and I'm going to pull a card for everyone now, and it's my question. I'm going to make it generic. It is, what is it your soul needs you to know for today? And what
Mhm.
card has come out?
Oh, I love that card. Oof.
Enlightenment. Can you see it
Mhm.
clearly? Okay.
Yes.
So there is so much imagery in here, and I know that Denise, when she works with the artist, she wants that imagery. I want you to look at the word. What does the word mean to you? I want you to look at the imagery. What does the imagery stir up in you? What emotions come up? What memories? What feelings? What colors are there? And really take time writing down everything that you notice about that card and asking yourself at the end of it, well, what is it that my soul wants me to know? What is it that I'm getting from this?
Mm.
Once you have written and you have released kind of everything in your brain that relates to that card, I then suggest for you to pick up the book.
Mhm.
And as you then pick up the book, you then have the opportunity to add to what it is that you already know. It's not a case of you're wrong and the book is right. I mean, Denise has written beautiful words in here that would really add, but it adds to your message. It doesn't take away from your message. It doesn't say that you've got it wrong. It adds to what it is that you have already got. So
Mhm.
I always suggest, if you're working on your own, is to read through what it is that, or write down everything that you've got, read through the book and to see what that says, and then summarize what it says in the book. What is it that
Mm.
the pieces that you picked out? Because then that will give you that opportunity to really understand what it is that your soul needs you to know. Or if you've asked a specific question, it gives you that opportunity to really say, okay, this is what this is relating to.
Mhm. Mm.
Hopefully that makes sense.
It does. It makes so much sense. And so powerful. I mean, and I love, I mean, of course I love all of Denise's decks, but the Sacred Destiny, I think, is my favorite to if I had to pick one. Because the imagery is so bright and vibrant.
Mhm.
So love that. Um,
Indeed.
so I can't believe it, but we're almost at time. So I'm just going to check to see if you have any questions. We have a lot of people who are saying good morning. So Marinda and Judy and Liliana and Sharon. So hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi.
Hi, Felicia. Hi. Ava, Alberta, so many. So thank you everyone for joining us. Just checking to see if there are any questions. We don't have any at the moment, which is just fine. If people do have questions, think of something later, come back and type it
Mm.
in the comments, and we will Terry and I will work to make sure you get the answers that you need. But I know we only have a few minutes left, so I did want to give you a chance. I know that you offer courses and you do one-on-one soul coaching and group soul coaching. How can people reach out to you? Do you have anything coming up that you'd like to share with everyone who's listening?
Sure. So I'm very active on Facebook. So if you have a look for Terry Bowen Coach, you will see me actually kind of in a green. I think it's a green jumper. I like the green
Mm,
with a
mhm,
little pendant, spiral
mm,
pendant. So that's my
mhm,
Facebook page, and on there I post daily, and you'll probably recognize or see there are some connections there to
mm,
Denise and the Oracle cards. I do have a group as well, Facebook group, which is free to join. It's not very active at the moment, but in a couple of weeks that will be
I'm sure.
reignited. That's the word that I'm
Yes.
looking at.
Mm,
Invigorated, I was trying to add in at the same time.
full of
Um,
energy, full of
Full of
energy.
energy. I'll be launching back into my group very soon as well. You can visit me on my website, terrybowen.uk.co.uk, and I do send out a kind of monthly-ish newsletter.
Mhm,
In terms of events that are coming up, I do have soul coaching practitioner training.
mm,
This is an online course, and I'm gonna say it's life-changing. It's a life-changing course that enables you to learn all aspects of what soul coaching is. It was some years ago, after I think 65 classes or so, that Denise was ready to hand the reins over from soul coaching to others, and I was one of those that was just like, yeah, I'm doing it. I've got such a passion for soul coaching.
Mm,
And I'll teach you how to do oracle card readings as a coach, as well as all the other fun things that we do.
mhm. All right, well, fantastic. Well, for those who have been able to join us, thank you so much. Please visit Terry on his Facebook page, his website, and check out his courses. I will say that I have personally benefited from his teachings and his coaching. So I can vouch 1,000% for how great Terry is
Thank
to
you.
work with.
And of course, I do oracle card readings as well. So
Of course you do.
that's always the one thing I forget to mention.
Yes. So which is great. So again, feel free to reach out to Terry. Again, thank you everyone for joining us. This has been our first of many sessions where we're talking to experts like Terry from the Linn Academy, to really ignite the passion within us about the things that inspire us and allow us to kind of move forward. If you're looking for more information about the Linn Academy, you can go to thelinnacademy.com. You can find out about our certifications and practitioners, etc. Terry, of course, is on there, but please go to his Facebook page. Please go to his website and make that direct connection. So powerful, as we all know. So thank you again, Terry, for being with us. So happy
Thank
to have
you.
you.
Thank you for
Um,
having me.
Absolutely. And thank you everyone else for joining us. And we look forward to seeing you or hearing from you next time.
All right, take care, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.